guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. It's from a guy. He is in his early 50s. He is currently living in South Africa, but he's originally from Australia. And he's going to share his story about the journey he's gone through since a young man up until this point with women, relationships, dating, hookups, purpose, success, the whole 9 yards. And it's a great story to show you guys how, number one, what I talk about in this channel with regards to female nature, how things are, relationships, marriage, how things are today with dating, the whole big picture. It doesn't make a difference where you live. It's the same thing everywhere. Women are women everywhere, men are men everywhere. It doesn't make a difference where you're here in the United States, you're up north in Canada, down south in Mexico, or over on the other side of the world in Australia or South Africa, wherever. Women respond to and do what they do, and men respond to and they do what they do. It doesn't make a difference. And or your culture, your religion, your socioeconomic background, it's the same freaking thing. So this is why it's so important for guys to understand that some guys, I kid you not, have commented, SSM, it's different over in America. It's not the same here. Bullshit. Bullshit. These stories come from everywhere. It's always the same thing. So that'd be a good way to make that point. Also, what this guy experiences is the same thing, again, so many dudes experience as well, only backing up what I tell you about focusing on your purpose, not putting a girl on the pedestal, not kissing their butts. Seriously, consider avoiding marriage if you can, unless it's, a thing with your religion or culture. How purpose and drive and grind makes you the best you can be, that you don't tolerate crap in your life. How when you focus on yourself, they flock to you versus you chasing after them. All these good things. And this guy, like many of you, made his mistakes when he was younger because he didn't know any better, as many of you guys have, as I did, but learned and now is kicking ass in the world, and it's a great success story that I think you guys will enjoy here on a Sunday afternoon. So, without further ado, I will jump into it. It says, Hi SSM, I'm now in my early 50s and have many stories to tell. I love your channel. So many stories which sound so familiar to me. I've been around the block a few times and I would like to pass on some of the lessons. I learned about the nature of females so the younger males can maybe avoid some of the mistakes I made. Also, other life lessons, as there are many factors to have a successful life. See? Right then and there. He's gone through the same shit. And he's in his 50s, another part of the world. It says, I have quite a few personal stories to tell, so this may be a series of emails. If you read this one, I will do more. He says, so let's begin. Call me Finster. Okay. Good to meet you, Finster. My life began in Australia. I come from a modest family, and like most young men, I grew up a nice guy, and I thought if I treated girls like queens, that I'd be rewarded and girls would want me. I know, smack. And yes, smack. I know I'm doing my job when I don't even have to smack any guys anymore. They're doing it themselves. But right there, I grew up the nice guy, and I was taught that if I treated them that way, like queens, I'd be rewarded, and the girls would want me. Well, how do you think that goes, guys? How do you think it goes over in Australia? You think it's the same as over here? Yep. As a nice guy, I learned quickly enough that girls are not attracted to the nice guy. They use the nice guy for validation and support, but they all want the bad guy. It's female nature to want the alpha guy, or at least what they deem the alpha is. The guy that they have to fight for, and they will fight for. They will cheat and backstab to get to that guy. I've seen it all. The thing which I could not get my head around is that most of these bad boys were losers. I knew some of them. They didn't give a shit, and that's what made them attractive in the twisted minds of women. Go figure. Right there. How many stories have I done with just this? The nice guy treats them well, treats them like a queen, puts them on the pedestal, makes personal sacrifices to make them happy, and they get treated like crap at best, usually cheated on, dumped, and they go after the guys that treat the women like garbage and don't want them. So this is why I tell you guys, okay, find the balance. Be a good guy. Don't be a loser. Go after your goals, ambitions, be successful. But if you're a dating relationship guy, simply don't make the girl the center of the universe. Make you and your goals and what you want your top priority, the center of the universe. And by your success and doing well, not kissing their butt and having an indifferent, I don't give a crap attitude, they'll chase after you. That's how it works. But the problem is these nice guys have been brainwashed by the movies to chase the girl and profess their love and make sacrifices for them and blah, 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 and do whatever they want and be there whenever they want at their beck and call, and they'll love you so much. Bullshit. Same thing here on this side of the world. Don't ever do that. And he learns. During this time, I never had much luck with girls, even though I was above average looking height. I must confess to being a bit jaded at this point in my life and angry. I struggled to understand why. If I did everything that I was taught was the right to do, but why did I still come in last? Be a good boy, worker, etc. It's all BS. Nice guys finish last. I decided to direct all my energy into myself and started pumping iron. At 19, I was skinny, 69 kilograms or 152 pounds, and was determined to change that. And I did. Apart from some short interruptions, I trained my butt off right through my 20s and avoided all the pitfalls. I hardly went out to party, I hardly drank, and went to the gym religiously, minimum 5 times per week. In 3 years, I put on 20 kilograms or 44 pounds of muscle. By the time I was 30, I was around 215 of muscle, benching 320 and squatting 475. I still train to this day. Damn, dude, you were strong. That's very impressive. That's some serious. See, guys, a young guy in his 20s on his mission. He's going to put on size and strength. He's 5 days a week, minimizing alcohol, partying, all that bullshit. Look what he did. And to this day, he's in his early 50s, he's still hitting the gym. I started when I was technically 12 years old because I went through a chubby phase. That's a long story. And I was like, fuck this. And I started watching Arnold movies at 12 years old. That motivated me. Started lifting weights. Started riding my bike everywhere, eating better, hanging out with my buddies in the neighborhood. I was finally making friends after I moved. And it's been a lifelong thing of eating well, eating healthy, hitting the gym. I can't do what I used to do back in my 20s, that's for sure. But I'm still hitting the gym 4 to 5 days a week. And all you guys should be hitting the gym and working out. This is awesome. Good for you, bro. What did I learn from training? Men, this is my first lesson to you. Always make your first priority you. Work at yourself, your health, your skills. Never ever make a female your first priority. Again, gentlemen, this is a man in his early 50s who's been around the block. Telling you right here. Everything I tell you, telling you right here. Females tend to have no direction or discipline. If you spend your energy trying to fulfill her dreams, you'll find yourself adrift on an ocean, rudderless and without direction. Have direction, discipline, and a vision. You are capable of far more than you can imagine. Just apply your mind and be disciplined. Couldn't have said it better myself. As a result of this, women will notice you and come to you. No need to chase. Never chase and always prepared to walk. Women do not respect weak men. Be strong and steadfast. Do not get swayed by the tears. They may bitch and complain, but they will always follow the strong man. Dating tips. Whenever possible, when it matters, never ask a girl for a number, especially if she is somewhere in your orbit of influence. Make her acquaintance, get noticed, and wait for the fish to take the bait. This ensures you will have the advantage from the start. Translation, if you're doing so well for yourself and you're on your grind, your purpose, not making them a priority, and you're indifferent and you have that cool vibe, they'll come to you. And they'll chase after you, especially nowadays. They will find you some way, somehow, and therefore they're chasing after you. You have the leverage, and you always want it, that they're more into you than you're into them. That gives you the leverage. What happens when the guys are more into the girl than the girl's into them? The shit I talk about all the time in all these stories and emails. He's dead on. Now we're going to get into about his life and all. He says, in my early 20s, I met my first real girlfriend. I knew her from the gym, and she used to date one of the instructors there. And she was hot. She was a 9 or a 10. I was out one night, and I bumped into her, and she came on to me like a bitch in heat. At the time, I thought it was a little strange, and she never gave me the time of day at the gym. Probably she was hoping that you would chase after her, but you never did. So she chased after you. This is exactly his point and my point. We went on a date for 3 years and it was a nightmare. Or we went on to date for 3 years and it was a nightmare. But I learned a lot. Women are vipers, snakes. I learned what mental and emotional abuse was for the first time. We moved to another city together and things went from bad to worse. It was one of the lowest points in my life at the time. I was hardly training and unhappy. One day I gave myself a good stern pep talk. I said to myself that the next opportunity to walk, then I walk. And that's what I did. And at the time it was not easy, and I had almost no money, so I went to stay with a friend and slept on an inflatable mattress. So, 3 years of hell. He had a 9 or a 10 after him. Guys, I've advised many times, when it comes to the 9s and the 10s, in my opinion, they're for hookups, they're friends with benefits, nothing more. Not dating material, most certainly not relationship material. Why? Because in 2022, how things are nowadays, you all are aware how just the average gals, the 5s and 6s, think of themselves and their attitude, right? Now take it to a whole new level, to the stratosphere for the 9s and 10s, who are constantly bombarded with attention and validation from dudes on social media, dating apps, wherever they go. They know in a heartbeat they can replace you. They would have a line of dudes, 19 blocks, that would hook up with them like that. Now think of that attitude, and you want to get in a relationship with that? And this was a while ago. This was decades ago, before social media and dating apps, okay? Don't get in relationships. Don't date the 9s and 10s. Just hookups. Nothing more. Toss their ass to the side of the road. It's not worth it. They're going to make you fucking crazy. You want to do relationships? Pick an 8. 8s are pretty, good body, and walk into the room, people notice, but they're not, the level of attitude isn't nearly the 9s and 10s. They're still going to be there, but not like the 9s and 10s. They'll make you crazy. And I will bet you this guy, because she was so smoking hot, he stopped being the guy that the newer version of himself. I'm sure he let a lot of shit slide. He probably didn't check her as much. He probably didn't, a bunch of things he shouldn't have done. But if the girl was a 6, then probably a lot of this bullshit wouldn't have happened. But anyhow, he said that this transition time was difficult, and I went through times when I wanted her back. Luckily, that didn't happen. She went on to marry a hairdresser who cheated on her constantly. They had 2 kids together and got divorced. She had a 3rd child with her second husband, that poor bastard. Of course she got no problem getting other dudes down the road, but her looks are going to go over time. What I learned from my first relationship was this: never let anyone treat you badly. Always call out BS straight away. Also, know that you have a weakness and work on them. When it's over, it's over. Don't go back. It never gets better, only worse. Live up to your principles, be a gentleman, and a lion at the same time. Translation: you can be a good, decent human being, but you're also a lion. Don't take any shit and you put yourself first. See, right there he said in his first relationship to check her and don't put up with BS, because obviously he did, and that's how she treated him. I spent the rest of my 20s training and having short-term relationships. I was mostly in a good place. I went into business with my brother and made a ton of money, which he stole from the business to feed to the monster who was his piece of crap wife. We fell out over this and didn't speak for over 20 years. We only recently reconnected over this. Luckily for him, she left him when the money ran out, and they had 2 boys who turned out to be okay in the end. She went to jail for embezzling money from the company she worked for. She's now out of jail, and she's the size of a whale. There's some karma. He says, lessons learned here: never go into business with your family. Very few families can make this work. Learn from the mistake of others. This can save you money and, more importantly, years of your life. Yeah, I've said this before, guys. Do not go into business with your family, and if you do, and also if you go into business with your friends, that's also a big risk too. But your family, whether it is becoming business partners in a venture, or maybe you own your own business and you're going to give your brother or sister or cousin their company business and you're reliant on them, not a good idea, because there can be a lot of bullshit that can go on there. It's not worth doing that. If you're going to go into business, have somebody that you know, that you've known for a while and has a good reputation. You're on the same page of things, and obviously an ironclad contract. But family and friends, no. 20 years took him to reconnect with his brother. And you think that the things that want to happen are ever going to disappear completely? No way. It says, I was around 30 years old and bankrupted but not defeated. I had my training and a good group of friends that supported me through this time. I was dating a girl on and off, but was hungry for a new opportunity. I kept my ear to the ground and explored an idea that came across my path. I moved to another city, and after struggling for around 2 years, an interesting opportunity came my way. It was in South Africa. I had no money, so I approached the company I did contract work with at the time, and they agreed to sponsor my flights and expenses to investigate. So I packed my bags and went to investigate for around 6 weeks. Says the opportunity looked good, so I flew back home. I packed up all my things into storage and moved to South Africa. That took balls, picking up and moving to another country. This is when everything started to change for me. Moving to a foreign country where one doesn't know anyone is never easy, but I was all in. The way I saw it is either sink or swim. After all, I had nothing to lose. Guys, when a chance of a lifetime comes your way, grab it, especially if it takes you far away. Throw yourself into the deep end and you will grow more than you can imagine. Yes, guys, very few times in life do opportunities arise that could truly change your life for the better. You may have that once or twice in an entire lifetime. I've had that twice in my life so far. The first one happened when I was 22 for my first business and did very well for a while, and eventually that ran its course. And the second time was when I started this YouTube channel and it exploded during COVID. I always wanted to do it, and I put everything, as you guys will see, my heart and soul into this channel, and then starting the second channel, and now the merchandise business, this whole business here. And I love what I do, and I love being on camera talking to you guys every day and helping you guys out around the world and hearing the hilarious comments in the comment section, the emails, and knowing I'm helping you guys out. I love what I do. This is truly my purpose in life, and this is why I've given it my all. And so yes, just like that, opportunity arises, guys, and it will change your life. Go for it. Put your heart and soul in. Don't put all your money in it, but you get my point. You got to grab it. This guy, this is why I did this email, because it's really good. It says, I worked hard and played hard, built a successful business, and started making great money for the first time. Awesome, brother. I was healthy and happy, and things were going very well. By now, I was acutely aware of the nature of women and avoided relationships like the plague. I hooked up with loads of women, but dated none. 2 years in, things were going really well. My business was growing, and I started to make a solid friend circle. I was training hard and knew loads of people at the gym. I was happy and having the adventure of a lifetime. Notice the constant here. He's always training at the gym. And it doesn't have to be the gym, guys. Just exercise. Working out. You feel better. You feel more resourceful. I've had days where I've had a lot of shit going down. I don't mean now, during this venture for the YouTube channel, but earlier in my life. No matter how bad it was, I would go to martial arts, boxing, training after an hour or two, or hitting the gym with the weights, and I felt better. And all of a sudden, more resourceful, the problem's not that big a deal, I'll get through it. You guys are into fitness, you know what I'm talking about here. So guys, again, I will reinforce the absolute need to work at yourself and your goals. Do not hitch your wagon to a woman's dreams and needs. They will destroy yours. I just look back now and imagine if I had married any one of my first girlfriends, what my life would have looked like. You would have been like so many of those guys, bro, that are out there that just feel trapped, that just are overweight, unhappy, married to some other miserable, overweight, unhappy person, and they feel like there's no escape. They're not happy with their wives, they're not happy with their jobs, they're not happy with their income, they're not happy with the way they look, they're not happy with their friends, they're not happy where they live. Yeah, does this mean that if you get married and that your life is condemned to be horrible? No, okay? Let's be honest here. But it also takes a certain personality and what I'm trying to help mold here. Again, you know my opinion about marriage in 2022. But if you're going to do it because of your own religion or culture or whatever reason, you at least can go in knowing these things I talk about so you can have the best odds that it will work out well. But for your average guy out there, I mean, it's just sad. It really is. And I don't want that to happen. I want to help guys not become like that, or guys that are like that turn things around for themselves. He says, it gives me chills to think about it. I bump into them from time to time, and let's just say that time has not been very kind to them. This is his exes. Like you say, men age like wine and women age like milk. Or that's not my line. I read that somewhere. Or the line about men can age like Sean Connery. Women also age like Sean Connery. In my next post, I will go into some of the more interesting and funny dating stories. Until next time, Finster. Well, brother, that was a great story. And you're living the life which I preach. So good for you, man. I'm glad you're doing well. And I'm willing to bet, even though you're in your early 50s, you're probably in damn good shape still. So keep hitting the gym, keep pumping the iron, watch the joints. I know you can't do squats at 400 pounds anymore, or if not, you must have amazing joints, because believe me, I can't do that shit anymore, but I have different goals now. But this is awesome, guys. Perfect example. Focus on yourself, focus on your goals, put yourself first. Do not put her wants and needs first, otherwise you're following her plan and she ain't gonna respect you for that. Keep on your grind, and when opportunity does arrive, you grab it. consult all the smart people you know that can help you achieve your goals, whatever that may be. Because again, like you said, major life-changing opportunities do not come every day. Once or twice in a lifetime. I was lucky to have it happen twice. Who knows? Maybe a third one will happen in another 30 or 40 years. I don't know. I mean, I could be dead on the way home before I publish this video. But I hope to live to be 98 years old so I can outlive my dad by 1 year. My dad was married before he met my mom, so obviously I'm of a second family. I know I've mentioned that before, and he passed away a couple of years ago. Awesome guy, I miss him, but I got to outlive him by 1 year. So I'm 44, so I got to live 40. I can't do the math. I'm tired. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me think about this. Let this guy know what you think. Give him a shout out because he's doing great. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.